For a large number of men, a woman's previous number of sexual partners is treated as a highly relevant metric. The theory is that this specific number acts as a proxy for her capacity to pair bond, providing a way to assess if she is a suitable fit for a long-term relationship. The drive to uncover this history comes from a very specific motivation. Men want emotional security. They are looking for a behavioral pattern, a reliable shortcut that can accurately predict a partner's future commitment and minimize the risk of betrayal. This bar chart validates that pursuit. The general population has a towering 55% divorce rate, compared to a microscopic 6% for couples who saved themselves. Isolating that fraction creates a compelling narrative. Fewer past partners translates to a safer emotional investment. But this assumes that a complex human history can be accurately captured and quantified as a hard, verifiable data point. Extracting perfect data from a partner's past is a practical impossibility. What begins as an attempt at relationship due diligence often turns into an exercise in psychological self-sabotage. The first problem with investigating a partner's sexual history is a core flaw in logic. You run into the impossibility of proving a negative. Absence of evidence is not evidence of an absence. Think of the investigation like the medical screening visualized here. A test like this can only reveal the presence of an anomaly. It cannot guarantee that you are entirely free of disease. It can only confirm what it actually manages to detect. Failing to find any concerning relationship history doesn't prove that no such history exists. It merely means you didn't ask the right questions, or you simply did not scan the areas where that information was stored. This creates a psychological trap for the person conducting the search. Because you can never definitively prove an absence, any digging will only yield two possible outcomes. You either uncover information that disqualifies the person in your eyes, or you find nothing and remain in a state of permanent uncertainty. Pushing a partner for these details rarely results in the desired peace of mind. Instead of reassurance, the search itself triggers high anxiety and obsessive thoughts about events that can no longer be changed. Poking around in a partner's past does not build trust. It systematically inflames retroactive jealousy, punishing the person who decided to conduct the search. Beyond the impossibility of proving a negative, the data itself is highly susceptible to corruption through self-reporting bias. And when the truth carries severe social or relationship penalties, people will naturally adapt and obscure the facts. In exit surveys from women leaving domestic abuse shelters, jealousy is frequently cited as the primary trigger for physical altercations. Because male jealousy leads to high relationship conflict, partners have a strong evolutionary incentive to minimize their romantic pasts to avoid inflaming that anger. They achieve this not necessarily through outright lying, but by applying specific inclusion and exclusion criteria. These are the rules researchers use to decide which data points actually get counted in a final tally and which get thrown out. This multi-layered funnel shows how that mental accounting works in practice. A woman might exclude a brief encounter that only lasted a few seconds. She might filter out mistakes made while heavily intoxicated, or she might simply discard any men who weren't official boyfriends. By the time those data points reach the bottom, the final number presented to a partner is not an objective historical record. It is a curated, subjective statistic. Demanding a precise number from a partner is an exercise in futility. You are asking for a calculation, while the underlying accounting methodology used to reach that number remains completely hidden from you. Even if you could bypass the reporting bias and get an accurate tally, you still run into a problem with the metric itself. The number does not definitively equate to inexperience. This flow path logic model maps human behavior under strict constraints. When the primary route is blocked, it simply redirects the flow. People quickly find loopholes, engaging in alternative histories to satisfy biological demands without technically breaking the rules. Which brings us back to that initial 6% divorce rate. If strict rules and low numbers don't actually eliminate sexual experience, we have to question if prior abstinence is the actual mechanism causing those specific, highly regulated marriages to succeed. This Venn diagram breaks down longevity by accounting for confounding variables. Large elements like religious engagement and cultural pressure are the primary forces here. Furthermore, this cohort makes up a microscopic 3%, making it a poor predictive tool for the general public. Focusing obsessively on this single number as a reliable indicator of long-term commitment simply creates a destructive cycle of psychological self-sabotage. When a data point is built on hidden accounting, subjective filters, and a statistical sample representing only 3% of people, it loses its ability to predict a partner's future behavior.